Hello everyone, Darko here, and welcome to episode 4 of Interstellar Quest, where we have gained quite the funding, 142,000 to be exact, by doing feeble missions like test this on the launch pad, test that on the carbon ocean, basically stuff that did not need the expertise of qualified astronauts and were carried out by overworked and sleepless interns of Kerbal Space Program. But even after all those sleepless nights, Kerbal Space Program is still in a predicament because we need more fundings to upgrade the tracking station, which in turn will give us the maneuver nodes, which is needed to complete the missions. But then funds come from missions, and to do missions we need funds, and to get funds we need more research points, and to get more research points we need more funds. So basically we are in a stalemate. But Gene Kerman have devised a plan to get the Kerbal Space Program out of this embarrassing situation. Behold, the incomplete Polar Bear Mark I. Gene Kerman was going through the records and found out that we do not have science experiments for carbon poles, and we don't have the Science Junior experiment for upper atmosphere of carbon because last time the Science Junior blew up. So to make extra sure that no science equipment blows up, we are stuffing them inside the service bay this time, and we have two Science Juniors with an oversized heatsink. But the problem with this design is we are at the part limit and we do not have enough parachutes to land that heavy two Science Junior jars. So we will have to sacrifice on stuff, and we will have to figure a way out for this. And after careful consideration of all the limitations, the engineering team decided that this pile of mismatched parts will have to do for this mission. So Jeanery, our most experienced pilot, without any hesitation will launch this rocket, and it will have very little control for the first stage because of the ridiculous amounts of acceleration, and we might have to ditch those solid fuel boosters fast because we are indeed losing control. But Jeanery is proving to be quite a good pilot, although we have blown up our main engine somehow. This mission was destined to be a failure. God damn it. Now Jeanery just thinks of making this thing survive, and he tries to bring some science back, and voila! The Science Junior gives us 17.5 science. The lab seems to be picking up some of the dry, dusty particles from the surface as you fly so close to the ground. Let us deploy the parachutes, and hopefully not many things will blow up on this thing. Hopefully Jeanery will survive this, but he is attempting to save these big fuel tanks full of fuel because they cost a lot indeed. But he is skeptical. He knows that the thing might just rip itself apart. Service bay open, please. We need as much science as we can get, but probably I have milked all the science in a 0.1 science. Even that is neat. Wow! The craft actually did not rip itself apart and is going at a steady 8.2 meters per second. So we might just be able to receive a lot of fundings back from this craft. But then all those smoke is reminding Jeanery of the home barbecue, and he just wants to stay alive now and get back home for some sweet, sweet barbecue. There goes all the 3 solid fuel boosters. Rest in peace, fundings. Rest in peace. What? What is blowing up? I don't think I released. Oh, there were 6 parts, including the decouplers. Decouplers blow up as well. I forgot about that. Alas, 2 fuel tanks, albeit one half charred, was saved. Ginnery shall take a crew report, which will give us 1.5 science. Who needs a swimsuit? Chicks dig spacesuits. Ginnery is trying his luck on ladies this time. oh, that that probably hurt Ginnery's back. We'll plant a flag here. And now that we know stupid looking crafts really do not function properly and that not all liquid fuel engines have thrust vectoring, I think this time the engineering team has come up with something that will indeed work. Polar Bear Mark III with Ginnery Carmen in there? Let's go do the mission. Fire everything! Whoa, this is going faster than I actually expected it to. Wow. And this time, since we have the swivel liquid fuel engine, I think it is assisting us a lot in keeping the craft stable while the craft is really burning up. And now it is time to ditch those solid fuel boosters, which will give us a nice show, and then we'll go out to do their own business and make craters in citizens' homes while we head towards the space and take a science junior report, which will give us 22.5 science. The materials in the lab are vicious and difficult to work with. After struggling for a while, you write up the data that you can. Ready for the folks back at KSC. Indeed, we are carrying dangerous stuff in there. And by the power of post-processing, you guys do not have to sit through the slog. And here you can see me trying to course correct this ship towards the North Pole. I really have to eyeball that at this point because we do not have maneuver nodes. But hopefully this thing will be reaching North Pole soon enough, and the thrust vectoring for that swivel engine is helping us a lot. The torque alone from the capsule would not have been enough for this course correcting, so it was a really good choice to have that engine here. And as soon as this thing was reaching close to the apoapsis, I fired the engine at full throttle and just hoped that it would land anywhere near the North Pole. But fortunately, the trajectory looked like it was heading towards the North Pole, so I was crossing my fingers at this point because everything depended on this mission, and voila! We have reached the North Pole. I was so happy at this point, and I turned the ship towards retrograde because it might just have overshot the North Pole, and even if not, it would have landed on the dark side, so I really did not want that. So I slowly tried to land it on the day side of the planet, but I accidentally ended up going further into the night side somehow, so I don't know what happened with that. It was probably the SAS by Ginnery. And now it's time to get back to old me. And we have ran out of all the fuel we had. Hence, it is time to ditch this thing. After we have slightly moved it because we don't want it to get stuck on us. That's it! There goes our pride, our fuel engine. What does the mystery goo has to say? The mystery goo seems to be swirling in a most peculiar way, and somehow we still get 2 signs out of that. But temperature scans, oh no, we have done 2 too much of that. We have milked every ounce of science out of that. And we have started entering the atmosphere, and we can indeed see the North Pole. Although it does not look as beautiful as Jeanery thought it to be, it still is icy. And Jeanery is a mountain boy who likes ice and freezing temperatures. Hence, he shall enjoy it thoroughly unless he overshoots it, kinda. We'll try and slow ourselves down little by little, otherwise the science juniors are gonna blow up. They are really not resistant to heat, and that really bugs me. And the rigors of re-entry have started appearing while we slow ourselves down by the drag of the atmosphere. Little by little, we shall close the doors to this thing and keep it steady enough for the science juniors to not heat up. Don't heat up, science juniors. No. Don't heat up parachutes. Don't heat up anything. We have the heat shield to ablate in place of you guys. We can wiggle it around. And now I think we can safely engage the parachutes for future purposes, of course. Observe mystery goo. Nope, not worth it. No, something was gonna blow up. This is terrible. No, that is the wrong way to face. Everything is gonna blow up. Oh, god damn it. Everything did blow up. I should not have pushed it that hard. And the heat shield goes flying away faster than us. But hopefully Jeanery will at least survive this. There goes another mission. But at least if we manage to land here, we'll manage to get the crew report and stuff. Yes, we will indeed manage to land only the capsule. Nothing else. Look at those southward winds and these dense clouds. They really do make you feel like it's freezing out in here. Really great mission ruined by impatience of Jeanery Kerman at the last moments of landing. But then, the moments of landing are indeed the most dangerous moments in any space mission or aviation or whatnot. Look at that. There's actually snow in here. Jeanery wants to land. He's getting impatient. And we can see our shadows catching up to us pretty fast. Touchdown! Jeanery takes a crew report. Did we actually go anywhere? This looks awfully familiar. Well, it does not, Jeanery. You just have never been to the poles. EVA report. You look around at the planet Carbon around you, taking everything in. You suddenly think to yourself, what am I still doing here? Space is up there. Well, to get to space, we need more science. And to get science, we needed to come here. But I think we still need to come here one more time. Since you blew up all the science experiments. First polar visit. It's not the first in the world, but it's first for Kerbal Space. And now a basic rocket with 3 science juniors just to get a little bit over Kerbin and down in the ocean to get us some science. And now Jeanery wonders again why he took this job. He took this job to go to Moon, go to Minimus, go to Jewel, but all he's doing is suffering. And suffering very hard. Launch it slowly. Observe the Science Junior, which will give us 17.5 science. You hope the autopilot keeps you from crashing into any stray hills as you play with Material Lab. And we shall get a little bit higher. And then observe the Materials Bay. It's the same thing still. I think we need to get higher. But the acceleration is really low. And as soon as we reach almost low levels of fuel, I will head this thing, plunge this thing towards the ocean. And we are going straight towards the ocean now. Observe Mystery Q. We'll need to get high over the atmosphere to get some more science out of this thing. Almost there. Observe Mystery Goo. I mean, Science Junior. Observe Science Junior. Your lab report contains nothing out of the ordinary, but you write it up for the scientists back at KSC anyway, and that gives us 22 science. And now we'll gently land this thing. And remember, just right now, that I forgot the radial parachutes, and some of the Science Juniors might just perish. Isn't that just great? God damn it! Why do I keep doing this? Oh. Going straight down into the ocean. Hopefully none of the Science Juniors will perish, and hopefully one parachute can stop this thing. Slow it down. I shouldn't have ditched the lower part of this rocket. At least the fuel tanks would have shock absorbed some of those heavy impacts. And now all we can do is hope. At least this thing didn't rip itself apart. And touchdown! And yep, I knew one of them would perish, so I took 2 ratings. Recover the vessel. Oh, we actually have somehow gained some 2,000 funds, and we have 93 science to deal with. Yes. Research and development. Give us some aerodynamics, we really need that. To do the missions and get some funding for our dream of Jebediah. And by the power of science that has been bestowed upon us, the aviation team has come up with something that will breach the 18-kilometer altitude barrier that has been haunting our missions for the past 2 episodes and has been stopping us from progressing. We have got the measly weaselly turbofan engines, which provide exponentially more thrust than these small Juno basic engines. Well, that totally does not look like it is gonna hit its tail while taking off. But nonetheless, Jeanery Kerman checks the staging, locks on to the mission, and takes off. And as some of you guys might have noticed by now, I have reduced the fuel in... Whoa. Jeanery Kerman realizes that the thrust is a bit too much for takeoff, and we are already at taking off speeds, and Scenery tries to take it off, which he successfully completes. But his pants are yellow because for a second there he thought he was gonna lose his life. This time he actually got scared of death because the craft almost lost its control. This amount of thrust steadily accelerates the craft even at this angle, and Jeanery is pretty confident that this aircraft will reach the speeds to get above 17,700 meters. Actually no, 17,500 meters. We'll see what happens, and if we run out of air before that, we will have to do the old speed ramaroo through the atmosphere. 10,000 meters, losing air intake quite fast. Liquid fuel, optimal levels. But I do think at this speeds we will run out of air even before reaching 15,000 meters. Yep. And the craft is slowly starting to stall because air is something we do not have. And here you can see me getting a little bit far away from the objective because I realized to get to 17,000 meters we will have to ram through the air at a pretty not so steep trajectory, and then we will have to fire up our solid fuel boosters. And here you can see me breach Mach 2 speeds in the opposite directions of where we need to go and slowly turn around. And then in here I realized that we do not have a single thermometer on this airplane while we are trying to reach a mission point which essentially needs us to take a thermometer temperature reading. So I head towards it a little, and then at this point I realize what's happening, so I switch back to a mission point which essentially needs us to take a crew report instead. And here you can see me struggle a lot turning this plane because let's be honest, this plane is stable but the turning on this airplane is kind of abominable, and it loves to do spinny spins with that heavy of a butt. But then this is good enough for me, and then I switch to the furthest mission point because we need a very not steep, what do you call that? I do not know the English for it. Very not so inclined trajectory, so we can gain the speeds before breaching the height limit where our air essentially turns off. Entering zone 2, 9 MW, firing solid fuel boosters. No, exiting, no! Wow. Solid fuel boosters have ran out while we are exiting the area. Maybe not. Maybe we will be at this speed. Reach 17,300 meters. Collect survey data for... We have managed to do the missions! Jeanery takes a breath of confidence, a breath of achievement, and somehow, with the blessings and directions of Jeanery Kerman has managed to pull this off, and now he's plunging straight towards the water because his aircraft has stalled. But worry not, he's soon gonna get control back, and then he is going to dump those heavy solid fuel boosters because they are of no use. But then he thinks that if he manages to bring them back, he just might be able to retrieve the fundings from it. We have managed to break Mach 2 speeds. Almost. Yep, we have broken Mach 2 speeds. And that is an amazing feat on itself with this level of technology. But soon we will have to break because KSP is approaching. And Jeanery actually wants to land in the runway for once. Jeanery realizing that he might just be coming too hot, too fast to land in the runway, but he is going to try nonetheless, but keeping a safe distance and safe area so he can land this thing properly. Otherwise, he knows he might finally lose his life after coming so close so many times, and he knows that he would not be able to land this thing on the runway because he just came in too damn hot. Runway, goodbye. Whoa. Braking slowly and steadily, Jeanery wishes this airplane came fitted with some drogue chutes, but alas, that is not an option at this point because the scientists at Kerbal Space Program demand for flights before that landing was way too hot for these wheels, and we need to brake. We need to brake, otherwise this thing might just topple over. Nice. Parts glitching out because parts going through Mach 2 speeds really do not like themselves. Wow, this amount of speed. This craft is surprisingly stable for what I have made. I think it is because the back wheels are in a wide area and this craft is very low towards the ground. This thing is ultra stable even at 50 meters per second. Wow. We should actually start braking. Because even if a craft is stable, I get pretty nervous at 50 meters per second on an airplane. And these engines are way too powerful for this thing. But it was necessary to get above 17,000 meters. Are we totally missing the runway? Yep, we are. Oh, no, 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 no. We need to take this slow in here. Slowly and steadily. Wow, these engines are literally too powerful. Oh, bumps in the ride. And even if we were not able to land this thing on the runway, we were at least able to bring this thing back to its garage and put it in. We'll boop the garage a little. Boop. Test Skipper liquid fuel engine in flight over Kerman. Another weird looking craft, but this time no Kerbal is gonna actually die because we are using an AI probe. So we need to get to 17,000 meters at 420 meters per second. I am a little skeptical about this. Oh, we don't even have an SAS probe on this. Forgot the SAS module, but we'll make do without that. And I don't know how powerful this engine is gonna be. It is pretty powerful, I can tell you guys that much. Slowly and steadily. Let's not topple this thing over. A little faster. I guess that speed will do. Let's not accelerate too fast, shall we? Otherwise the air is gonna say, no, I am not going to allow you. But then we are running out of fuel pretty fast, so... wow, I don't know how much longer this thing will last. Might have to throttle up. Yeah, throttle up pretty hard. Keep that speed up. Don't let it drop by too much. Yes, we are there. Let the speed drop. Oh no, we are above the altitude. Come on. Alright, gain speed, gain speed. Come on, gain speeds. Don't go below 17 gain speeds, please. Oh god, yes! Run test, at least we managed to do it on our way down. That is true victory. Now we accelerate time. And touchdown without any losses. I said without any loss. Says Size Juniors are really fragile, aren't they? Alright, so after that weird but successful mission, we have 176,000 fundings, so we can indeed upgrade the tracking station, but if we do that right now, we'll be stuck with 26,000 Kerballers, and that is just not enough to build anything viable to earn us more Kerballers or monies. I'll stop saying Kerballers because that is kind of weird. So what I've actually decided to do after giving it 2 minutes of thought is to sacrifice this 41,000 fundings and 11 repetition in order to delete these kind of very hard missions. They're more like they need more fundings to complete than they actually offer us. So we'll delete those. We're actually down to 138,000 resources right now. We'll delete this one as well. We'll delete this one as well. We took a little bit of hit to our repetition that I really do not care about right now. But we lost a lot of fundings and we need to make that fundings back. But look at that. We have test Mark 16 parachute in flight over Kerbin. It's 3,000 to 10,000 meters and speed 70 to 240 meters per second. That is easily doable by an airplane. To conduct temperature surveys, the temperature on the surface at alpha sites. So we just need to land the airplane on these sites. Meet the Relander Mark 1. I really do not think this is going to fly, but trying will not hurt Valentina. Will it now? I won't be flying this thing that fast. Will I now? I should have really attached a parachute now that I realize, but And I added these wheels upside down just in case this thing has ideas to roll around. Let's launch it. Valentina's heart is pacing because she has not seen or flown an aircraft like this before, but the aviation team assures her that this thing works, in theory. Sight. Okay. No, this thing does not work. But it managed to fly for a second there, didn't it? Alright, maybe all this thing needs is lesser wings and better placed wings. So, yeah, we're gonna place the wings like that and name it Relander Mark II and load Valentina Kerman in it and launch it. Valentina Kerman, getting a taste of how things work around in here. Valentina Kerman, actually feeling very scared and very excited at the same time. Her courage levels are high, so she launches the aircraft, turns on her stability controls, and sits back, enjoys her popcorn, and waits for sweet, sweet release of death. The airplane, I don't think it is gonna take off, but we're gonna keep trying. Take off! Take off! We need more speed. Take off. take off! No, the runway is gonna run out, and this thing has taken off somehow. Wow! Wow! But since this thing does not have a tailplane, it is running. It's a Beyblade. Somehow Valentina managed to survive that. I should not try weird designs. I really should not. Valentina Kerman surviving 2 crashes in the row and gaining 4.8 signs out of that. Looks like a storm will arrive later. The storm has already arrived. And we somehow are getting science out of this. So the fundings we're losing are not in vain. The engineers hadn't planned on water, so the numbers have all washed off the thermometer, making it unreadable. Valentina, do you want to go for a swim? Yes, of course she does. EVA report, another 3.2 science. Maybe we just haven't taken science data from the shores. As the water rushes to your face, you begin to thrash and wail and gasp. And then remember, your suit is airtight. So as you guys might notice, we are at 2B, whatever that was. 2B3G, and we need to take a pressure recording in here. Boom. One of those sites is done. We'll reset the experiment because we do not need to keep it. And if you guys notice here, all of the sites are just around this flatland around our Kerbal Space Center. So we'll just drive this thing there. Valentina Kerman, feeling more confident because this thing is not meant to take off. And the torque produced by the cockpit is good enough to turn this thing and topple this thing. But look at that. This thing will not topple. Upside down, sideways up, doesn't matter. This thing is very good at handling everything. We'll now go to 2BG, another site. Look at that. Alright, where is that site? I should... Oh, wow. Okay. Slow down. This is not how it is supposed to work. Okay. Working. No! Topple back. Alright, slow down now. This is uncontrollable. Okay. Now it's controllable. Let's not topple this thing over. And we have collected another data. That is good. Now remains is not killing this rover and getting back to... Oh, there's temperature data readings in here as well. So let's go to that first. Alright. We somehow have reached there and our engine is gone and our everything stuff is gone. Wow. Log temperature, because we cannot move anymore. Engage the brakes and let's try this again. Meet Rover Mark II with Valentina Kerman in it. And at this point Valentina is kind of enjoying piloting weird crafts. Let's get to all of our favorite sites, and this time I have a parachute in there. Just in case. So much of a difference. These basic Juno engines have such a low amount of thrust. Alright, where are we heading? We're heading in the complete wrong direction. Let's get to site 2B3G and take some pressure readings. Oh. No. Do not blow up. That is all I ask. Alright, that mission is complete there, and somehow There's a storm coming, and it's not your typical curb storm. Has given us 3.6 signs, so I'll be keeping that data there. Oh, no, wow. Braking can do that to you. Log temperature data, and we have gotten 2.4 signs out of that. The temperature here is normal. Guess the calibration worked. Yup. Whoa, 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 okay, something blew up. One of the engines have blown up, but I still think we can do this. Yes, we can. One of our engines survives. We can still do this. Yes, it's cooling down. No more fires. The engine imbalance is slightly pushing it towards the left, but we can counter that easily. Yes! Log temperature. Yes! Oh no, no. Please survive this. Ah! Now brake. Valentina has managed to do it. Even with half the craft, and Valentina will win a medal of the fundraiser for this amazing feat. And we have gained 6 science and 200,000 fundings out of that. Look at that. We are at 392,000 fundings. That mission, that patience was totally worth it. And I think, unfortunately, that's all the time I'll be having for this episode here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching this video. I am Dark Cow, and I'll see you guys in the next one.